Hey, welcome to today's episode. Today we are going to build a sign. Well, over the course of the past few days I've done it, but now compressed it into an easy to watch video for you to enjoy and learn. We're going to use a CNC router, which is right up here behind my head, and a bunch of other processes, which will hopefully be pretty neat. Enjoy!
Alright, we're back working on the sign that I'm going to be making out of this red elm piece. We've got a couple knots. Well, we got a knot here that's pretty loose. We're going to fill that with some epoxy resin. We got a crack and a big crack over here. We're going to fill that too, and some stuff here so we can stabilize the board. We can utilize it. We can get that character piece. So it'll be a one-of-a-kind piece. Then we're going to burn off the end down here. I'm trying to do like a flame burn border for a sign I want to make. So I want like a crisp edge. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. But we're going to do a practice piece down here, burning off the edge and kind of making it crisp. Got some people like camping, campfires. You know, maybe you want to add that to your project. So we'll do like a little experiment down here on the end. So I'm going to mix up my West Systems epoxy resin and hardener. Stir that, pour it in, burn off, pop the bubbles, not burn it, because you can burn it and then you damage it, then that's no good. So we're going to get into it here and play the music. I should note that I've got the backside all taped up so nothing can leak through, so I'm not wasting a lot of epoxy. So all the cracks that go all the way through, taped. On the end, I got a tape there so we don't overflow it there either. So now we're going to take our epoxy and we are going to pour it in. Now on this end, we're going to try to burn this with a border so we can have a straight line, a burn mark, but still a wood. I don't know. We're going to see what happens. Let's do it. Alright, we will see what happens here. Let's peel this tape off. Yeah. So we burned some tape. And the glue and the tape residue kind of in the charred part left some stuff here. So we'll see if we can't sand that off and what it looks like after that. But I'm going to let it cool down before we tackle that. I'm going to check over my epoxy, see if there's any bubbles while we're at that. Looks good for now. And I think some of these cracks will fill up after this.
And now we are over at the CNC router. I've already done the programming for the sign. I figured that was something I could do another video on in more detail later, but right now I'm lining up the router to the origin where we are going to start it, getting it all right where we need it to be. I generally start all my signs in the lower left hand corner, but that'll depend on the shape or what we're carving or engraving or what project it is altogether. Sometimes we'll start it in the middle, sometimes we'll start it on a different corner, but the vast majority we're starting in the lower left hand corner, and we're getting that router bit just in the exact spot where it needs to start. And then once it's ready, we zero out our coordinates and hit run. This is the normal speed that I have the router set, and the next little clip here will be a 16 times faster view of the router. So there it goes. Zoom, zoom, zoom. This sign in total took roughly 45 to 50 minutes to cut out all the details and engrave and cut out the perimeter. That includes a couple minutes to change the router bits. And then it's off to painting. This is clearly normal speed painting. No, yeah, right. The great thing about this is you don't have to be real precise. You just have to get up on all the edges and paint it the whole way. And then anything left up on the surface will be sanded off later when we send it through the time saver. Here I am hooking up the time saver. This is what it looks like just after it's been painted, excuse me. And we're measuring it with a vernier caliper on multiple sides to make sure that we find the thickest side, and then we're going to set up the time saver so it is ready to go. The blue hose there is the air line. I always disconnect that when the machine's not in use, just so water doesn't build up there. And it's all set to go. There will be a video, if not already, on how to set up the time saver. So students in my class, you can watch that if you're wondering how to set up this machine. And if you don't have a time saver, they're not necessary for a small shop, but we want to teach cabinet making and furniture making and expose the students to machines they might be using in industry. So that's why we have a really sweet 37-inch wide belt time saver. And here we come with the sign after it has been sanded. Turning the machine off, let it come to a stop by itself. Don't hit the emergency stop to turn it off. And disconnect the air, and we're done. Off to my favorite job, sanding. Sanding, sanding, sanding. And there's an electric burner to burn a brand in the bottom side. So that's warming up while I'm doing the sanding. And then we're going to do some hand sanding to get it all prepped and ready. Here we're trying the flame border on the end, just to burn the wood a little bit, give it a little bit more character, make it a really unique piece. This is a great thing for students to add to their project to just make it stand out from something that would be store-bought, or just to add a bit of personal touch. So I just lightly burned the end grain, the edge grain, and it turned out pretty good. And here we are in the finishing room, putting on some stain on the whole sign. I go gently over the painted areas. Don't rub through the paint. Sometimes the stain will make the paint smear, and you definitely don't want smear. Be sure to like and subscribe and all those things for interesting videos. Next week we're gonna head over to the metal shop and do a couple videos over there.